Good morning, my friends. My name is Darren Gerdes, and this is the Daily Brief. So the theory was that Putin would be elected, and then there would be some kind of pause, and then he would amp things up. But that pause came and went pretty quickly. I don't even know that this is the story. The real story is this. Overnight, Ukrainian forces shot down 92 of 151 Russian aerial targets, 63 Shaheeds, 12 Iskanders, 40 KH-101, KH-555 cruise missiles, and the list goes on and on. 151 aerial targets. So it was something. So here's Radio Free Europe. Russia launches massive assault on Ukraine's power infrastructure. I want to show you one paragraph out of that. Russia, on March 22nd, launched a massive wave of strikes on Ukraine's energy infrastructure, killing at least 2 people, hitting the country's largest dam, temporarily severing a power line at Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, while causing almost complete blackouts in other parts of the country. Other parts of the country, like Kharkiv. Kharkiv has been completely de-energized. Kharkiv's mayor reported it was the largest attack on the city since the beginning of the war. Russia fired more than 20 missiles at infrastructure facilities. Centralized heat and water supplies are almost inoperative. Electric transport has stopped. Traffic lights on the streets have been turned off. Emergency teams are working all over the city. Free hot lunches and so-called points of indestructibility, where you can warm up and charge your phone, are open. Now, Kharkiv, remember, is at the 49th parallel, about almost the 50th parallel. It's basically on at the same latitude where Canada and the United States meet. So it's pretty cold there still. Okay. Russia attacks Ukrainian electrical power facility, causing widespread outages. Here's what it looks like. Kharkiv electrical facilities hit by 15 ballistic missiles, and this was 7 hours ago, so it wasn't over yet. Plunging the city into total blackout, water disrupted, no city transportation. Now more than ever, people in Ukraine urgently need your voices of support. Okay, so I'm seeing that now, but last night I was getting this. This was from Greg Terry, and he was saying, we're under massive attack in Kharkiv. Check your breaking news. We've had 18, I'm showing you this right here and from his text. We've had 18 explosions so far and no power all around us in Center City. So my just one word reply was praying. He said, massive explosions beside me. It's 5:10 in the morning. Said, you need to find a better place to hang out. I hear the South Bronx is nice, only gunshots there. He said, or Detroit. Seriously, though, let me know that you're okay in 7 hours. Will do. Okay, so that was our conversation last night. So here, Greg and Johnny will be talking about what actually happened last night.
Missiles, including Kharkiv, right across Ukraine, though, many cities, many regions, many energy infrastructures have been hit, as well as civilian infrastructure. Anyway, that's enough of the preamble. Greg, I'm really happy to see you and Jenny safe.
It was the most hellacious night. It's weird. We're in Kharkiv right now. We were not supposed to be in Kharkiv, but due to some circumstances, we had to leave. We were down toward Chasiv Yar, and we were needing to continue to the southern front, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, we needed to hang in this area, and we needed to deliver some aid coming back north of, I guess for everybody, it's just easier to say Bakhmut, of course, Bakhmut is, but that area. And so we had to come back through Izum and Chiguiv. So we decided to shut it down in Kharkiv for the night because it was getting late. And about 2:30 or 3 this morning, all hell broke loose. It was nonstop. Zhenya is in one room, I'm in another, and we are counting the explosions. Some were quite close to us. I think it was on explosion number 18 when my bed rattled that I said, okay, this is not good. Of course, Zhenya's running news nonstop. Then we started to learn that it was not just Kharkiv, but this was a massive attack, one of the largest since the beginning of the war, which was a combination of different missile types from Iskanders to Kinjals, or you may call them daggers, to S-300s here in Kharkiv. a massive drone attack. I can tell you it's not just Kharkiv right now in our city. Well, I say our city now, where we're currently at in Kharkiv, there is no power. There are, of course, then no, for example, bus lines moving, no metro, no stoplights, no water. There are gas lines where people are trying now. It's just like the beginning of the war. We had to cut through a line of cars trying to fill up at the Wogue, just to get over here to where we consider is a safe place. We were struggling to find a good enough signal to connect to you because we're doing it remotely. And it was quite difficult. Additionally, when you're hearing that happening, and we were just in Kharkiv 2 days ago when we had the update on the other missile strike, and you shared that. Dr. Gerdes shared it, others shared it, Rick shared it. We were just right down the street from it, was able to get some live footage from there of it right after the attack. So I'm just thinking it's, okay, they're hitting Kharkiv again, but then Zhenya starts messaging me, man, they're hitting Dnipro. Man, they're hitting Sumy. Man, they're hitting Poltava. Man, they're hitting Zaporizhia. Man, Khmelnytsky got smashed. Our home city, way over in the west central.
So
yeah.
So I was just going to say, I mean, it's really interesting that this is a good analysis of the missiles from no reports here. So,
okay, so we're going to stop there just so you could hear what his experience was like and how they're processing that. Okay, so next thing here, they're going to go on and talk about this. And if you get a chance to go on to Johnny's live stream, he's going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this later as well. The U.S. has urged Ukraine to halt strikes on Russian oil refineries. Why? Well, because if you impact 15% of Russian oil, maybe even more of that, that's going to cause a spike in the price of oil within the world. Now, I think it's a great thing for Ukraine. It's not going to be a great thing for everybody else's pocketbook, but it will help reduce Russia's ability to fund itself. But there's not extra oil floating around there that's going to backfill that very easily until other oil producing nations get the message and start pumping stuff out, and they're not necessarily doing that. Putin is a dictator and a tyrant, but other forces also sustain him in the West, says Simon Jenkins. Okay, I want to go back to one paragraph in this because I've been saying this and saying this and saying this. I think Putin could have won even if he didn't do all the monkey business that he did. Now, I mean, he might have had a hard time with Navalny, let's say, but he still has such a majority of the population that supports him. It's ridiculous. Here, when I asked a Russian expert what he thought would be the true tally of electoral support for Putin's dictatorship, his view squared with the survey. He suggested it would be about 60%. That's what I've been saying. As like he didn't need to spend $1 billion and do all this fake stuff and then look like he's fake when he could have, I think, legitimately won. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying he went to all these authoritarian extremes that he didn't have to. To vote for Putin, you did not need to support his regime or the war with Ukraine. You might well be content with one thing he promises: security and a patriotic response to Western abuse, or the ginned up Western abuse that they manufacture. Okay, just a couple other stories. 10 Ukrainian pilots complete basic flying training in Ukraine. Again, just because they're going to have F-16s doesn't mean everything's going to magically change, but it'll be useful. Okay, finally, I saw this and I thought, wow, really? Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov says Russia is in a state of war with the West. Well, they've been saying that and saying that, but then he said this was one little interesting paragraph. In this regard, the existence of neighboring state like Ukraine has documented its plans to seize Crimea at any cost, and it's unacceptable for Russia, Peskov said. Ukraine also has such plans in relation to Russia's newly acquired territories, he added. So let me understand that. So you're saying that if a neighboring state decides to come in and seize Crimea, it's a bad thing and you don't approve of that, or other territories, you don't approve of that? Neither did Ukraine. So this is where we are. This reminded me of something I just saw on Twitter the other day I thought was hilarious. This is Ukraine. This is Russia. Here we go. Pretty clever, but keep watching. There we go. All right, that's it. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes, and the coffees. And thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.